Feature Friday.
The freshest.
And we are live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Feature Friday. It is Friday, and on Fridays, we like to tease our merch.
Yes.
How cool is that?
This is just one piece. Shut down around.
Okay, turn around. Show him what you got.
This is just one piece.
Exciting times.
So much more, actually. There is so bloody much more.
Can we turn around this little screen over here? Sorry.
Father,
I can't see
this one. Yeah, this one here.
Can't see anything.
Monitor.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
please.
Thank you. Oh, you're a
Thank
hero.
you.
Hero.
And yeah, so we got a lot more masks and socks and other hoodies and t-shirts and shirts.
We got some cool stuff cooking in the
It's
pot.
amazing, yeah. So just maybe I'll drop things in and out, in different podcasts throughout the week. But I think we're probably gonna release in 2021 January. However, I do get a somewhat of a feeling which we could actually release in the next
Some little
upcoming
stuff
weeks.
Soon.
Yes. So not for Christmas, so you won't be able to wear Feature Friday merch for Christmas.
But maybe that week in between where nobody knows what day I actually is.
But to receive a warm and way better 2021, you could wear Feature Friday clothing. And
insert fireworks here.
FDF, so Feature Friday, and
It says it down below too.
that's down below.
Just in case you didn't know.
And then we've got different lines coming out. So the WLSK line, which stands for Valeska, and then the EFRA line, which is obviously mine.
I wonder what that stands for.
And each line has different designs, different colors, different things that you might like. And then we also have the main sort of line, which is the Feature Friday line, which is gonna be something like this. I don't want to spoil the other ones, but they're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. If you are following me on Instagram, you probably saw
Another
teaser. So yeah, it's exciting times. I think I'm even more excited about this Feature Friday too.
You know what's difficult? Like something very difficult to do, and I think a lot of like YouTubers get a lot of like slack for. It's like it's very difficult actually to make merchandise.
Oh yeah, it's
not
hard.
easy. Like it took so long to sort of come to a place where
it's true.
You always want to do something different and stuff like that. And one of the things I was looking at it, when you see all these sort of groups, I'm pretty sure Dimash probably has his own merchandise as well. We know like the guys from NCT had merchandise drop like every part of the year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If you don't know who they are,
literally with every season.
They're like ginormous. Actually, they're ginormous now worldwide. They've been one of the most active set of artists this year, and they also been one of the most active merchandise changes.
Oh, definitely. They have been so interactive.
So many, and it's so like Nav when he's released this album, Justin Bieber when he releases, they always drop out merch and stuff, and it just makes you respect them so much more.
You're like, wow,
bloody tough.
It's so hard, and yeah, it's very difficult, and it's quite rewarding to see it when it comes, like when it's here. When this stuff arrived, I was like, oh my god, my stomach dropped.
It's so awesome. Also, like other stuff
it's exciting.
It's going on this week. Tomorrow, so on this week's Feature Friday Plus podcast, Alan AA, who I'm sure if you're a fan of Dimash or you're from Russia or you speak Russian, you're very familiar with him. He does amazing work translating reactions and reviews. He also does a react to himself, and we're gonna have him as a guest in the podcast, joining us on Sunday.
Yay!
So do watch out for that.
Little Sunday vibes and conversations.
Should be super fun. And if you've got any questions or anything you'd like to ask him, drop them down in the comment section below and join us on Sunday.
Hey, yo, I love when the fireworks come. They're so cute. Cause I don't need your baby. I had to realize that maybe I'm not right.
till I die, till that day comes. Till I die, I've done tried ever since day one. I've done tried and cried and lied for my day ones. And if my time comes, motherfucker, just don't get some. I'ma try till I die, till that day comes. Till I die, I've done tried ever since day one. I've done tried and cried and lied for my day ones. And if my time comes, motherfucker, just don't get some.
I had to finalize the sweet and sour lullabies. I'm sure you got 1,000 lines. So now instead of you and I, the poems live inside my mind, and idealism is alright. That's why maybe I've been walking around like crazy. Got me thinking about your maybes, baby. And I don't think we'll make the news, 'cause lately I've been reading poetry, and baby, got me thinking about those maybes. Lately, they got me feeling blue.
I'ma try till I die, till that day comes. Till I die, I've done tried ever since day one. I've done tried and cried and lied for my day ones. And if my time comes, motherfucker, just don't get some. I'ma try till I die, till that day comes. Till I die, I've done tried ever since day one. I've done tried and cried and lied for my day ones. And if my time comes, motherfucker, just don't get some.
Drinking liquor for a better picture, need to say some. Drinking just to stay numb, and another day just play dumb. Your time has come, has passed, yeah, but I take mine. I don't need to look back at the past to know where I came from. I only need one time to make rhymes. I also take money and dimes at the same time. I better stop, 'cause I've been gone away too long. And realistically, this song really ain't mine.
Hate to see you leave, but I don't need your babies, baby. Hate to see you leave, but I don't need your babies, baby.
Well, let's get right to it. We're doing a Dimash special. I am beyond excited. I think I am about to lose all type of wording and how to like express myself in this podcast. Not to get my hopes up, but I just know what
Well,
to expect.
It's difficult,
you know?
isn't it, with him, because he's such a peculiar entity of he sort of carries himself in such humility and humbleness, but he exudes when he sings and performs like such potence, and like it's insane what he's able to achieve when he's performing. But off stage, like he just seems like a normal
guy, and that is so. It makes you admire him.
Normal tall guy.
Yeah.
Very large.
It makes you admire him for way more than just his artistry. I feel a lot of people agree with that statement I made a few weeks back when I was saying that he's like angelic, like there's something
special
out
of
of here, yeah, but out of this like earthly environment about him, and
I think actually this year has been really good for him, because he's just sorry to interrupt, but he's been on MTV for the first time.
Yeah.
He's also got Go Again back, releasing one of his singles.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's actually on this Feature Friday.
Yeah, I think it's his new single, I Miss You,
was released on MTV as well, so it's gonna be sort of the first time a new release.
Ooh, and
correct us if we're wrong. We're always
think,
learning, so do drop it down below.
Yeah, one of you guys sent me a message earlier today saying how he is the first Kazakh artist to be featured in an MTV program like that.
Bananas. Dude,
Isn't that insane? Like, the internationality of his talent is incredible. It's
weird, but you feel like a proud fan. You're like, oh my gosh.
I'm very happy. I'm very glad that it's become such a worldwide phenomenon, and it's not just selective to just one area only, like a sector only, like only if you speak Russian you are able to listen to this. I like the internationality of it all, so I'm really looking forward to it.
One of the things that we discussed when we first watched Dimash on the channel, and we discussed it off air, of camera, was that when you have someone that talented, and it's arguably the best voice on earth right now, right?
Yep.
Especially of new generation.
Yes.
You know, like there's no one really at that level. And there are people close, and yeah, it's all opinions anyways. But he's arguably the best. So when you have the best, right? And then you also have a language barrier, right? And you want to market him in a specific manner that also makes him into a pop star. You know, because he's gonna, I think, and he's proving it. I think he's gonna be the proof of you can mix different genres, classicals,
yeah.
and different extremes, polar opposites, and still
Be marketable.
come through mainstream and sell billions
Yeah,
of
I agree
hits and
with that.
records.
Yeah, I agree with
He's
that.
definitely proving it.
He has to be the living example of it, for
He
sure.
will be, and dude, and what I'm excited for is, I was about to swallow my teeth. Excited. What I'm excited for is this next sort of 5 years with Dimash. They're gonna be so impressive because he's gonna start taking over the world slowly and slowly. So he's taking over Asia, really.
I think the fantastic thing about him though is that there are really no boundaries when it comes to such talent, you know.
He's exciting, man.
Yeah. So let's start off with this really requested, and I think I've tried. We had to dig a little to find this video, but I actually think my mom's gonna lose her absolute mind over this, because my mom is a huge Queen fan. Our mom, both of us. And
yeah,
Dimash,
I came out of the same woman.
And Dimash did a Queen medley with 3 other incredible vocalists in the program The Singer, and it has been incredibly requested, but it was a bit hard to get the video. So I'm really looking forward to this, because ages ago, for the greatest vocalist special that we had, I tried to include this, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
At all, yeah, I couldn't find it at all.
So thanks to you all, we found it,
Turn
and
that
here it
sucker
is.
off, man.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Notifications.
Uh,
It's because they're going to go off, so... Because you're so popular.
I'm so popular.
Let's watch it. This is the Forever Queen, then. Is that what it's called?
It's the Queen medley.
Let's watch it. Is it on?
I think it is. Ooh, exciting times! I'm so excited.
That's the marriage song, isn't it? Da 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 da.
No, Efrain, no, it's not. Look at my mom.
She put a camera on her.
I wish you could see what she's doing.
Oh, he looks great, mate.
All of them look so good.
Yeah, but that suit particularly, though, is so clean. I'd love to know the names of the other guys.
Me too. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be freaking nuts, sir. Bravo. Love of my life.
Wow, he's great.
Whew.
He is great.
Oh my god, they're all very, very talented.
Love of my life, can't you see?
Ooh.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, chills. Wow, that's gorgeous.
Is this the first time we've seen Dimash in a
group setting?
in a group
yes,
setting?
I think it is.
Whoa, that's so exciting.
Oh, no, but they set the scene so well. The harmonizing of it's just so clever, because it could be so overlooked because it's so subtle, but it just gives so much, like, it's like that sparkly powder that you put on like food to make it look 10,000 times better. That's what they're doing. They're sprinkling the magic powder there. It's so great. I love how he opened up as well. There was so much. He was setting everything up, you know. It was so great.
Very powerful.
My brain is melting. Wonderful harmony work. Wonderful.
Wow, man. That's amazing. What the...
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
We'll rock
Yeah,
that.
wow. Everybody!
Big something on your face. Nice. Literally everyone on earth knows that song. I like him a lot.
He's got so much like. Rah. Listen to those harmonies though. How do you make the most rudimental song such a masterpiece? Wow!
Yeah. It's
Wow!
such an iconic song, isn't it? Because everyone sort of like everyone that's
In
alive
the world knows it.
today
Everybody
knows that
and
song.
I used to think, because you know, I used to think it's like it was a generation thing, like it was the older generation that would know this song, but and my generation, I thought, oh, you know, it's just iconic. It's like Thriller, everybody
Still
would know
hits.
it. But even kids, like now, today's kids would sing this song
Yep.
from the top of their lungs. Iconic, Queen, iconic, Freddie Mercury, forever a living legend.
It's crazy
Well,
what
it
that
will
guy
go
managed.
down till, yeah.
It's crazy what that guy managed to do, man. Like that is so fucking nuts.
He broke the world
Well, they
without internet.
Bro, they're singing in China, right? His song covered by a guy from Kazakhstan.
Three
I'm
other
guessing the three
singers.
other singers are from China.
Yeah.
Or maybe from different parts of... Like, what
Asia.
the dude, would have Freddie Mercury known? Like,
He probably never saw that coming.
like
And now
you know,
his
how long has
legacy
it been
lives
since
on.
he's passed away?
Ooh,
20 years? 22?
20 something years, no?
Like 22 years after he perishes. He's basically just... he's got that much of an influence still now as he did when he was still alive.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's 40 years since I saw them alive.
Ooh,
So-
so
so our
you saw them in
father-
a concert.
That song,
So
yeah.
our
Wow.
father had the awesome opportunity to
Honor.
see them live,
Yeah,
to
see
see
them.
Queen live, not Dimash. Queen live, 40 what? 40 years
40
ago.
years ago.
Amazing. That's insane.
Crazy.
Work.
Listen to those harmonies, listen.
That's why.
Yes! This is a major vocal display.
He's great too.
Wow!
Wow.
Shut up!
Just gonna be
Fantastic transitions. Those transitions are so clean.
That's awesome. How was that possible?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Those guys certainly are.
Oh! Oh, it's so great!
What the? Oh, okay. So what?
There's so much happening.
This is amazing, man.
Oh, wow! Oh! How freaking iconic! What? How
that-
do you process that type of information though? Like,
I mean, if that's not one of the best performances of that show ever, like, I don't know what the fuck is.
I cannot understand what just happened. That was just brilliant. Brilliant.
You can tell they're also very musically sound, all of them, because like those harmonies
They
were
were
the right
complex.
harmonies, but not the harmonies you
That
would
you
try
would-
to go for.
Yeah, no, not the what you call those thirds. The thirds or fifth harmonies are usually the naturally where people like naturally inclined to do. But you know, when you're playing with seconds, you play with sixths and sevenths. You start to realize that you got pretty
Like a huge
advanced.
plethora of choices.
Yeah,
right?
pretty advanced.
But those
like,
choices are only unlocked like by ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's nuts.
It's insanity. Those vocalists, the three of the other guys, please let us know who they are. They are incredible. Obviously, all together, they just provided such a powerful performance because it was like watching a choir, but on a modern setting where with no boundaries nor stupid rules or
Yeah,
anything. It was just like bang in your face.
Well, I guess sometimes that's perhaps why choir, right, hasn't become or has never been the most popular market choice.
Yeah.
Because there's so many, it's so structurized, it's so strict, there's rules involved, and there's also a sense of there are golden rules that must not be broken.
That's
you
right,
know, so
that's right.
it's very difficult for a wider population to sort of adhere to these rules when they don't mean nothing to you. But when you've
Absolutely.
come up in the choir system, they mean the world to you
They
because
are everything, yes.
you grew up with those rules. So
But what is fantastic about seeing performances like this is like when you study ballet all your life and then you go into a modern class for the first time.
Yeah.
Is that doing the absolute opposite of what you've been taught all your life and yet still holding core of the essence that you've been working on for the whole of your life too. So it's such a it's a rebellious yet rich and knowledgeable
like
type
formal,
of
like it's still formal.
and yet it just seems very like rebellious too at its core. It's just so it's a great mix of things to happen, you know. It's wonderful.
It's really powerful. Like what maybe I've used this analogy before, but when you see top, world class individuals at anything that they specialize on, my biggest passion is tennis. When you watch Roger Federer, in singing, when you watch someone like Dimash, someone like when you watch Pavarotti, when you watch Bocelli, what is so interesting is that you give them a canvas, right? So you give them a song, especially when they're originals.
Yes.
Give or a cover. I still believe it's most. You can see this more obviously when it's their own song, but not only are you tuning in because their vocal capabilities are amazing, but it's also to see what the sense of
performance
creativity
capability,
and what they get out of that head. Like when you watch Roger Federer play, you never know what the hell he's gonna come up with, and it's like, but his ability allows him to be so free with the one that is the racket for him.
That's
With
so true.
Dimash, his creativity and ability to do things allows then other people, when you see him first time, we've seen him in a quartet, right? it allows other people to then play on more difficult and a higher level.
Absolutely. It's like when you get the cream of the crop
Yeah,
to
literally.
work together.
But it's so
That
rare
is-
though when that happens. You know?
Absolutely. I believe that we just witnessed history.
Yeah, those I would love to know more about those guys. So if you know who they are, their
Fantastic
names,
work.
we would love to check their work out on the channel and maybe even do a a podcast and stuff like that.
Definitely. I don't see why not. My absolute admiration for everybody involved in that performance, not only the singers but the band, the live backing vocalists, everybody working the lights and the set in there, the production team behind cameras, the switching cameras, where to go, when to come in. Everybody in that show, deserves a freaking golden star and a monument, because it's so difficult to get those type of shows right, and especially in like a TV environment, it's so difficult. And I haven't seen one of those clips from the singer yet that has left me a bit disappointed. None of them. They all have been
They're all good.
absolutely outstanding, from production to performance to music capabilities and musicians. Everything that display is just
Such a good idea, isn't it? Like
fantastic.
instead of having a contest,
And the conductor and
Yeah,
the person who did the arrangement.
crazy. Like,
everything about it. Usually, I've read
self-arranged.
though. Yeah, usually the singers that are the contestants of the show are the ones that arrange and fix their songs however they want to do.
Yeah.
They're their own directors
It's
when it comes to
it's
that.
such a good idea. Like to have, instead of have a contest, a singing contest of people that are developing their mastery, of have contestants be masters at their craft and then make
all
the
come
public
together. Yes.
make them come together, and the power of the public, which at the end of the day is the market, decides who wins. But at the end of the day, everyone won.
Everybody's a winner there.
So
like,
it's a win-win show. You know what I mean? Like Dimash expanded his audience in China. You know what? Because he's
in
such
Asia,
in
it
Asia,
grew so
but
much.
especially China. Like that was why Jessie J went, because
Yeah.
the Chinese market is so difficult to get into. Because obviously media here is not the same media there.
Absolutely.
So you have to go to shows from there, and it was so. It's such a good idea, man.
It's
And
fantastic.
like for example, the numbers that Asian, for example, like I've been, most of you know, well, I think that I'm into the UFC and I like MMA, and one of the big, like the second biggest fighting organization, apart from Bellator, is one called One Championships, and they're
Okay.
just in Asia. But
Oh,
the
wow.
numbers they pull, bro, they like derail anything fighting wise,
really?
because it's ginormous in
I
Asia.
didn't know about it.
And I've never even heard of them. I just heard because one of the champions in the UFC went to One Championship
Okay.
and is fighting there now. But movies in China, the Chinese
Cinematics, yeah. Industry.
industry, ginormous.
Film
like
industry,
the
yes.
numbers they pull, bro, they make some of these numbers look like children.
Absolutely, yes.
So it's such a good idea to have this artist that maybe haven't broken yet into mainstream, because now he definitely is going to, and have such pure crafts and valuable craft to them, and put them in like a ginormous market, so they can make a lot of money off of it. They can share their their value, their singing, their music, and also increase their fans.
It's fantastic. It's a great concept for a show.
Good show.
And I've never been a particularly fan of
Contests.
singing
Singing
contest shows. They've always seemed to me a bit reality TV too much. Like it's a bit too on the entertainment side rather than what we just witnessed. Which I believe that's the way it should be done.
Because building an artist is not easy. It's actually very boring, tedious, monotonous. So if you put cameras involved on what an everyday trainee life looks like, it's not boring.
It's not gonna be entertaining. No one's gonna want to tune in to
So
see
you gotta
somebody.
sparkle a bit of drama. You gotta sparkle conflict and stuff.
Absolutely, make it marketable.
Yeah, of course.
But that is just fantastic. Great show. Moving on, we got a live performance from one of his concerts on Bus 2 in 2017. And I think the songs is a combination of songs. Is Adai and Daididau? I don't really know.
Daididau.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Don't know, I just guessed. Please kindly let us know if how badly we pronounce that. Literally.
Terrible. Just terrible. We got English captions, so I am happy.
Yeah, it was in his because it's in his new song. Most of the links we
Oh,
got
yeah.
sent, they didn't have any captions, and then
His
like
song I miss you. And you
like
know
24 hours later, then someone sent us one with captions.
yeah, I was like, oh well, a little too late. But you know how I found out what the name of the song was? I had to put in the title of the video on the translator. I was like, detect this language and translate it for me, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Go on. This is it.
Very funny.
This is also like it's three songs, right?
It's two songs.
We've seen this one, haven't we? Where he
No,
plays.
we have never seen this. Look at that.
Well, obviously not
That's
that
a lot
performance.
of people.
Are those fans?
I don't know. I think they are.
Or they're there to clap, maybe?
I don't know. They're filming, so I guess they're fans.
What the hell?
Oh, they're behind a barrier as well, so I think.
How sick is that for a setup?
It sounds like one single instrument. That is insanity! What the hell? These guys are having a good time.
Yeah, how the hell do they make a sound all together?
It sounds like one single instrument. I cannot. Oh, Dimash is on the other side. Oh!
That's sick.
What? He's also playing. Nah. That is so freaking great.
How awesome is that, bro?
Greatness, I tell ya, greatness in one human being.
Yeah, literally.
Look at that place. Is that like a stadium? It must be, right?
Yeah, it's like 40,000 people there. Maybe 30, man. So fast, what?
Bravo!
Take my money.
Bravo! Wow. Pretty lady takes the instrument away.
No bad.
Oh my goodness.
Could
Oh,
think
the
of-
lighting though. Look at that
He looks great as
setup,
well.
that design, and that stage is insane.
Nice.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Alright, we'll pull it back. You can put him bigger if you want.
Can I put them bigger?
Yeah, put him bigger.
Thanks.
Just so it's easier for everyone else to keep reading along.
Also follow
Yeah,
along.
we're like 150%. Yeah. Is that
Is
better?
that big enough? Can you read it there?
Yeah,
Try 200%. See what that looks like.
Can you read it?
even better.
Even better, right? Yeah. there you go.
Okay. Let's pull it back.
And it adds more, doesn't it?
I really like how the whole atmosphere changed when the song started. It's like the mystery, like the storytelling has just begun.
If you haven't seen The Witcher, the series from Netflix,
He needs to make a soundtrack.
I
for
want
that.
him to be the soundtrack
Yes.
of every bloody episode.
Yes.
It suits him so well.
The medieval
Fuck's
setting. Yes, I agree with that.
Why not?
No,
Dude,
no,
that
no.
guy's so fucking famous.
It should, like,
And he's
yes,
perfect.
it would just fit.
What the hell?
Petition to make a petition.
Yeah, really. He'd be so perfect for that. And people would go, I reckon the show would blow up even bigger. Just
Probably,
because
yes.
Dimash would be involved.
And he has such a huge fan base as well.
He's amazing.
I love the traditional clothing.
I wonder what the names of the type of clothing is.
14th moon. That is very weird.
That's a strange sentence, isn't it?
Yeah. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous.
It should be the soundtrack to every movie. Wow.
Daididau.
Wow, this guy's a mate, bro.
Wow, how cool is that? I love the air of traditional music, but into the whole atmospheric, mysterious side of the song. Wow. Even the time signature of the song is super complex.
It's strange.
It's
Like the
very
time-
difficult. The push and pull of the melody of the song is quite rhythmically complex, and then you also have, he obviously changed the tonality of his voice, the singing quality itself, and it went into a bit more of a chesty, full, belty type of singing here. Obviously in his natural set range, but what is his range really?
Yeah.
What is really his range? And I really like the grounding of the vocals. You can tell he's physically exhausted. This show is incredibly demanding, but you cannot hear an ounce of
that fatigue.
any type of fatigue in his voice. The display of technique is always so fascinating to me. I've always said it. He's the guy to watch. He's the guy to study.
Yeah.
Especially on live performances. Like you can fool anyone on a recording. Like you can fool anyone on a CD, on a studio setting.
True.
But you cannot make this up. Like this cannot be. This is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
This is the purest form of singing that you could possibly get, and the difficulty of it all is so. It makes it all 10 times more fascinating to me, you know?
I think that's the right word. It's such a fascinating piece because it's so peculiar in so many ways, and it sounds folkloric. So I'd love to know what the sort of rhythms and the clothing and the instruments, all of that. We're always learning, and I think that's why I find it so. That's the right word: fascinating, amusing, exciting. To have a podcast like this and share our experience, a learning experience, and our thoughts with you guys, because. Like I don't want to sound redundant, but there's so much that you don't know, like that, and it's so crazy that music, regardless of whether you even know that exists, has such impact. Like I'm just sitting there and I don't even know what I'm thinking.
Absolutely, it's like you're totally submerged in this world that all of them have created for you.
And this is in my language. That's not my culture. I don't know what that instrument's called. I've never worn those clothes in my life.
And yet you're so emotionally
Basically,
attached.
the stringed instrument.
Yeah.
Instrument is a balalaika.
Balalaika, I think it might be. I remember we mentioned it before when he did that song where he was in his studio.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if. Oh God.
I think we got it wrong that time.
I think we actually got it wrong as well.
Yeah.
We could be correct. But of course.
I'm pretty sure you guys will let us know.
But I don't know if it makes sense what I'm trying to say. It's like, how can music, right, be one of the few forms of art that can literally revert any form of cognitive activity? Like it can literally just set you in.
Detach you. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Is what I call holistic experiences. They kind of become an out body out
bodily
bodily
experience.
experience. You know, they kind of
Out
like,
bodily, is that what? Out body experience.
yeah, it's like you're totally detached from this reality for 7 minutes. You know,
And if you truly let yourself go, like
you really are traveling through time and space.
you'd start crying, you'd start thinking of your past, or you start thinking of nothing. It's like meditative state to some extent. It's
Absolutely,
so
yes.
great, especially classical music or this sort of folkloric music that he seems to sing often.
There
It's so weird. Like,
there is a
effect it has.
specific magic here though, because the chords they naturally provide that mysterious sound and melody to it all. So that's already setting a scene. That's already creating that hypnotic effect state, yeah. And then you also, you know, add on wonderful poetry to sit on top of it, and a voice that could literally smack you away into another dimension, you know? So you get a pretty magical situation.
Yeah, sadly. So smooth.
The breath control and the techniques there.
See him touch his inner ear. Proves he's human.
Wow, look at that place. That's breathtaking.
If the Mash says sings, you sing.
Is this in China? Is he singing in Chinese?
Might be.
Epiphany? Is he singing in Chinese?
He might be. I'm not sure.
Can we check that up?
Because, I don't know.
Sure.
No?
I don't know how we would check.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah.
That makes it 10 times even more fascinating. He doesn't even speak Chinese.
Or, no.
He does? No, I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does, no. Or maybe he does. I don't know. He can do so much. It's so fucking confusing to try and keep up with what he can do and what he can't do. This looks wonky.
Superhuman. Yeah.
It looks wonky.
Superhuman. Are you okay there, buddy?
There you go.
Okay.
No, it's even more wonky. And it's that violin something.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, man. He's worth every penny.
Where's that chorus coming from?
That is amazing.
Oh no. Oh, look at everything that's happening. I just...
That is so impressive. That's the moment that marked thousands of people.
That's the moment that takes your breath away.
Jesus, that's tough, man. Tell you, it should be the soundtrack to every song of every movie.
Bravo! You didn't need to rip my heart apart like that. You're fantastic.
That was special, dude.
Fantastic.
That was so special.
Wow. Imagine what grows through his head in that moment.
Don't
What?
know.
Bravo!
Nuts.
Bravo! Wow!
That's insane.
No,
dude.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Currently, he is studying Mandarin and English.
Ah, alright.
Currently. So I don't know if that was Mandarin. It could have been. Everyone
for
seemed
all
to be
I
very
know.
familiar. If it was his song, then everyone obviously is going to know it. But Jesus Christ.
I think it was like I have a hunch that this is like one of those popular songs, like folk, you know, one of those folk popular songs that everybody knows from your country, like, you know, like Venezuela. Everybody knows, like, I think like this might be something similar to that.
It
The
wouldn't,
thing is that
wouldn't
he
surprise me.
has performed songs in 12 different languages.
Yeah, like he's done Italian, he has done English, he has done...
Kazakh, Russian,
Kazakh, of course.
English, Mandarin, Italian, French, Spanish, German.
He's done songs in Spanish.
Turkish, yes. of
Hey!
course, Ukrainian and Kyrgyz.
My God!
If anyone knows what song he has done in Spanish... 'cause we-
Feliz Navidad. Tu.
Pro-
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad Dimash Pro version, basically.
Oh my God.
That's crazy, dude. That's gonna take some time to digest. Like bloody hell. And that
I'm
is one of
going
those.
back to that performance, and because there were obviously, for me, there were four obvious sections. You know, you had the opening scene, where the rhythm and the melodics were totally different. Then you had the second section when the actual song started. Then you had the third section when the vocals became more full,
Prevalent. Yeah.
and they became more grounded. It was more of a bell type of quality. And then you had obviously the closing scene, you know, the golden key to heaven. That's what I imagine heaven sounds like when you come in. Oh, you got Dimash asking you to whom I will lay my mysteries, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's a absolutely roller coaster of emotions, and it's fantastic.
It's always been so interesting to me that in my experience, I don't find those like the moments that mark me the most are not those like crazy belts and like where he reaches, you know, this insane notes and then does like a whistle note mixed with a belt setting and a handstand. Like those are not the ones that mark me. The ones that mark me are moments like those where it plays on the core of what it feels like to be human.
But he
Of
plays on the
feelings.
emotions. Yeah.
You know, I think those are the moments that mark me and make memories in me. Not, you know, those crazy notes and stuff. And I see other people like that's, you know, that's kind of like, I don't feel that's his most impressive bit.
That's
It's
right.
certainly impressive. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, he's a bloody alien. But when it comes to why I really like him, is that like, what the hell are the singers capable of doing that type of stuff?
There is they in Spanish we call it tacto. It's like that, like the delicacy of knowing what type of emotions you should access. It's like
In tennis, you call it touch and feel.
basically
Like finesse.
yeah, like that, exactly, that finesse of the craft. It's like he's on a level that is so beyond anyone that he can literally access emotions to bring them to the touch of everyone listening, miles apart, through a screen, on a live setting, or however the refined technique of getting to those untouched emotions and amplifying them for everybody else who's watching. Absolutely insane.
It's very impressive, like bloody
Absolutely
hell.
insane. Well, we're
Very
gonna carry on doing more because there's more.
Yeah.
There's more to watch, and we have him
Just seen
singing.
that, haven't we? It's the Queen medley.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is the wrong one. I think this is okay. So this is sorry. This is Daybreak
In the same
in the
venue.
same concert, same venue,
Same year.
same year.
Awesome.
Apparently this whole concert is absolutely iconic, and I think we would totally go check it out.
As a fool in our own time, absolutely. Yeah.
In our full time, in our own time. But yeah, somebody sent when they sent this song through, they said that in this song he was singing in Chinese
Right.
and Mandarin, and yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Because
And
literally China has so many languages, like so many
dialects,
you know, so
yeah.
it's like so confusing when they say Chinese, like which one?
Yeah, I don't know exactly which one, and I know that the story that he's singing is based on real life events with somebody
Of
else.
China.
Yeah, it's like it's an iconic Chinese song
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting.
based on real.
It's got
real
lyrics,
life.
right?
Yes,
Nice. Well, let's do it.
let's do it.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a try not to cry challenge.
Basically.
hell.
Oh, a whole freaking orchestra. Yes.
This is heavy on the heart, man.
It is indeed.
The Dimash special, bloody hell.
You gotta be tough. Dimash!
Yeah. She seems comfortable speaking it.
Oh, that is just so good.
No teleprompter, no nothing. You know what I mean?
Nothing, just going in. Feather's face for the final time.
That's ominous. His strong shoulders raised me back to safety. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ, that lyrics is brutal.
Oh my god. So,
That's
this
rough.
kid was abandoned by his parents.
But I think it could have been because of a tragedy, or it could have been because maybe they just left him.
Well, I think it is a tragedy. I think like
Regardless, it's obviously a tragedy if they left him.
No,
but,
because-
like I think it's death. He's talking about death.
Yeah, he's talking about. I think his parents died.
Yeah, and he
it's
survived.
the kid's perspective.
Well, that is a rough ass story. Jesus bloody Christ. By the way, one sec.
Goodbye. Never come back. What the hell? I don't know. Left me alone one more time. If you don't come back, I'm gonna finish this all by myself.
He finishes his master degrees
Thesis.
with a perfect score.
He did?
Yeah, and
He's a
received
genius.
recommendation for admission to doctoral studies in music
Well,
from his university.
yes, it doesn't surprise me that he's an absolute academic
He
genius.
plays 6 different instruments perfectly.
Well, we did watch that video of him playing several instruments, and it was absolutely fascinating. He is a genius, and not in the commercial and like what's it called, superficial meaning of the word. No, I mean it on like the whole of its true literal meaning. I'm pretty sure you cannot be that.
Yeah, he has been graduated in
His IQ must be
2014
like-
in classical music.
Yeah, his IQ must be like absolutely crazy high. What a fantastic person. Honestly, my admiration for this guy goes beyond anyone's explanation. This is incredible.
It is.
For
He-
real. This is
he-
absolutely
he
insane.
specialized in bel canto.
Bel canto. Yes, that makes sense.
Oh, what did I miss?
Oh, just saying how absolutely incredibly fascinated I am by this guy. He finished what was it? His master's degree in classical music in 2014 with like the highest scores.
Perfect score.
Yeah.
What the?
And he received recommendations for admission to doctoral studies in music.
Well, yeah. What did he? A master? Did you say masters?
Yes.
If you get a master's, why not get a doctorate? Yeah. I'm obviously if it's got a
He will
perfect
be-
score as
He
well.
will literally be. He really, literally is the doctor
of music.
of music.
Yeah.
Senor,
Yeah.
what the hell?
That's impressive. Damn. What was he like in school? Do we know?
He must have been brilliant. He's academically smart.
Is there any background on
Information
him?
about that. He probably was insane. Not gonna lie.
The research.
Right.
They are especially talking about his musical advocation.
Yes,
Right.
of course.
So if his
of course.
musical
And
work.
He began to take piano and vocal lessons
Yeah.
at the children's studio at Coates Upton Music College.
What year was this? I don't know if people can hear what our father's saying, but
yeah, he can.
they can.
In
Alright.
2009.
Yeah. 2009.
And he was graduated in 2014.
He graduated in 2014.
So how old is he? 20 what? 26.
He's 26, I think I last read.
Yeah, so he's just literally like he's about to hit his peak.
26.
Yeah, he's not even. He's like.
He's about to hit his prime, like at
We're
28,
not. We're
29.
not. We haven't even seen the best of him.
Theoretically, yeah. That's crazy. What about vocal cords and stuff, right? Do they hit a prime? Because you have your physical prime.
Well, there
As an
is there are said to believe certain people believe that in each phase of growth, like biological growth, there is like a peak for each phase of your life. So say for example from 6 to 10, your voice barely changes, tonality wise. So the muscles are still as tender when you're 10 as when you were 5. So the resonance is not very different.
Right.
In male voices is on that break after between puberty, when they start to hit puberty, they're said to believe that the peak in a man's voice is around their mid-20s, and then it will maintain itself depending of course of usage and technique, but it usually can
Mid-20s.
keep
Right, so maybe he is in his
that
physical prime right now.
brightness.
He's in his physical vocal prime then.
Yes, but that that's on a raw, without nurturing.
And he's obviously nurtured his voice.
Absolutely. So a mix of techniques with his incredible discipline, vocal discipline. I'm pretty
Because
sure
you know,
we're yet to see the best of.
In sport, well, and he's also that's a good sign that like he likes to genuinely study music, because
Fantastic.
that shows he's gonna carry on learning, and he's gonna be one of those singers that the older they get,
The more they know.
yeah. So he's literally gonna turn into like a master, like the typical martial artist master, but in like
Literally,
singing.
he's gonna be like a Shaolin master, but in singing.
yeah, pretty much.
It's freaking amazing.
Dimash is known for his wide vocal range of 6 octaves.
6
Octaves.
octaves, right?
And
6 octaves.
Yeah, we watched the video where he watched that thing.
And 5 semitones.
And 5 semitones.
So that's
That's
pretty
nuts.
crazy.
Go on, let's carry on watching this. Fucking nuts.
I just needed an emotional break.
Yeah, literally.
I can't.
He's rough, man.
This is
Awesome. Staging. It's Daybreak, I see. Ooh.
I wish I didn't read the lyrics. I wish I didn't know what this was about.
I'll say mama as well. That's tough lyric, man.
Woo! Arrangements. Wow.
It's forgotten. That's insane, bro. What the hell? I love that drop. He's such an artist, man.
Woo! 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 Woo!
That's awesome. Oof. Those lyrics with that voice, like you're going to burst.
I rarely find myself speechless. But that's exactly what I am right now.
That's rough, dude. Like, oh my god. You know what? It's so interesting, isn't it? How, like, sometimes you know how there's books and movies and paintings and obviously music, and it seems that throughout the existence of people, right, and tragedy and suffering, pain, experiences,
Pass me
excitement,
that thing.
happiness.
I'm a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, happiness and all these sort of roller coaster of emotions, this plethora of experiences that we go through as humans.
Yeah.
It's like a common denominator is that the extreme feel of a specific emotion. So as I say, it's sadness and despair, like on this song.
That wasn't sadness. That was mourning.
Despair,
that was
yeah.
Despair, and that was heart wrenching.
It seems like language then hits a limit, right? Like I can tell a story, but it's not gonna resonate the same way that a painting could, or that a song could, or that a book, than writing could. It's so weird that throughout all of humanity, like singing, especially classical singing in this manner, has become so has stayed, and its presence has never left, because it seems like it's the best way to express extreme emotions,
Yeah.
like
Heightened emotions.
yeah, like
yes.
it's that genre in which, especially for pain, suffering, despair, it has such depth.
When I was training,
Why?
there was a high emphasis, right? In my first year, I remember acting teachers used to be so, they would make such an emphasis on heightened emotions. It's all about the heightened emotion. Obviously, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. It was like, what do you mean a heightened? I don't understand the concept of it. But it's exactly that. It goes beyond the physical need for communication. It goes beyond language. So the feeling and is using you as a vessel to magnify itself. And instead of us, what I had to learn was that instead of pushing it down and not letting myself feel it, I had to embrace it. And that rush, and it's not a rush, but it's like that overwhelming feeling of emotions. Let it be whatever it has to be.
No, before me, it's calibration of that, because you might just burst into tears.
It magnifies it to such an extent, and when it's done correctly, when you know, the thing is, you know when it's done right, because you feel it. It's like when you open the water tap, you just open it, and you are the tap in that moment. So you're letting all these emotions travel through you.
I see. Well, like a vessel, like you said, right?
Exactly. But the tricky part of it all is combining the technical side of things. Like, you have to stand a certain way to access different muscles. You have to do this. You have to do that. Rule. Recipe. And then they tell you, okay, let all that go and let yourself be fooled by emotions.
Yeah.
And you're standing there thinking, what on earth are you talking about? And then you watch Luciano Pavarotti's act out a full opera. And you're like, that's exactly what they're talking about. That heightened emotion that travels through the person, through the performer in this particular part. And it's a very, it's a very antagonic concept. But when it comes together, it's just, unbreakable. You find this type of magic.
I guess the irony as well is, like, genetics, biology, they take its place, like, you could say, like, Dimash it's somewhat obvious that he has won the genetic lottery to some extent.
Very much
but
so.
also, he's the way he's nurtured those genes and the practice, and he's also the personality type he turned out to be. His work ethic, he's relentless when it comes to work ethic. We've seen his rehearsals and stuff like in our own time. He's a perfectionist too, so it's very bizarre.
Yeah.
So it's an agglomeration of all these things, right? But the irony is that, like, that skill of being, becoming a vessel of emotions, as you mentioned, that can be learned by anyone.
Absolutely. I believe, I learned a lot.
Now, will you sing like Dimash? No, but you can still embrace that part. And
Absolutely.
then whatever your singing ability is, that you can work on and you can nurture. Of course, there's obviously going to be limits. You're going to be you, Dimash is going to be Dimash, Beyonce is going to be Beyonce.
That's
Luciano
right.
Pavarotti is Luciano Pavarotti. But
There's a small detail with Dimash. His mom is a soprano as well.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Genetics matter, man. Like, I wasn't a big believer of that until you get into the pro level of the game.
And then you're like, definitely matters.
It's like, mate,
Yes.
this guy is not normal.
This guy was born
Yeah, and then
that way.
you travel the world, or you see people, athletes from all over the world, and you're like, oh, okay, so
Yeah, and then you
in
get...
Cuba, this is the normal person. He looks like a soldier of God.
Absolutely. And that is so true. Even in dancing, Cuban dancers are freaking blessed by God, in so many ways and different levels. And musicians as well.
Do you see?
Outstanding.
You see? Oh, hold
Absolutely
on.
insane.
So why is Italy the house of opera? Is it Italy?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then you're like, that can't be just randomness.
No.
You know what I mean? And then you start looking down genetic lines and stuff. It's like,
Well, it's like,
It
why is it England the house of theater? Why is it? So obviously, it started here with writing. And
genes are everywhere, and this
It
sort
is,
of
it's
biology is present in everything,
It's kind of like, I also didn't like, because it's funny though, because that statement can go a long way, thinking, oh, genetics, if you got the genetics right,
They're not everything, but they matter.
Yes, but you can get caught up in that idea of that they are everything. They can be everything.
No, not everything.
No, I know, but you can get caught up, especially when you're training and you're seeing constant competition, everybody else around you. You see certain characteristics in certain people, and it's human to compare yourself. You find
Especially if
yourself
you're part of the game.
absolutely. You find yourself in this crusade, and those questions arise quite often in the industry. Oh, it's genetics. Oh no, it's nurtured. Oh, it's hard work. It's
Yeah, same in
dedication.
sports, yeah.
These things come up often on the table when you're having conversations with people in the industry.
Where
And
do you stand?
I stand that, like I do with everything else in life, balance is all about balance. Because you can be the less genetically gifted person and be way more successful than the person who had it all from birth due to hard work and dedication.
Yeah, but but
So-
success doesn't. That you see that I feel that's where the argument loses itself, because the argument isn't that genetics make a successful individual. Literally, no one ever has made that claim. The claim is that genes matter in ability.
Definitely.
At skill level, and that your genes have a huge and play a huge part in determining how skillful your how skillful how your skill ceiling is, where it stands stands at. So what your limits are. That's all set by genetics. So it's not that, because your ceiling, your skill ceiling could be super high, right? So someone like Dimash is really, really up there, but then someone like an average pop singer, let's use, not to throw shade, let's use Dua Lipa. I just saw a Tiny Desk concert. It was very impressive, very nice. But, she's not Dimash's level. So let's put her here. Genetics wise, your genes, right? Just maximal ceiling singing capability. She can be just as successful as Dimash.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
her skill level will never be like Dimash's.
No, but
You see my point?
yes, but the ability and
Yeah, because
skill.
there's a natural predisposition in Dimash that no one has.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
So, for example,
absolutely.
the best example of this in sports is fast twitch fibers, muscle twitch fibers, and slow twitch fibers, right? If you have fast twitch fibers, you're going to be a bloody sprinter, right? You will never beat Mo Farah in a race, even if they give you the same training, you do the same, you have the same resources. You're a twin of him. No, if you were born with those type of muscle twitch fibers, you're never going to be a world-class Olympic champion at long distance running. Sorry. Could you be a good marathon runner? Could you win medals? Yes. Will you be as good as Mo Farah? No.
Fair enough.
It's brutal, right?
No, but it's reality. It's a
But
fact.
but does that where I stand in the argument is, does that question bloody matter? No. Because
No.
can I be successful whether I have Nadal's genes or not? Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. That's where I stand. And
Would I
but
be as
it's- it's
successful as Nadal?
That's where
Unlikely.
follow your dream take place.
No, that's when finding balance takes place. Not only following your dreams, but finding balance. What resonates with you? What is the right thing for you? Because I also, there are so many misconceptions in the whole industry that, there's set steps, there are set skills and things that you must develop, things that you must be good at. And there is no escaping those things, though, right? So they're set.
Yep.
And a lot of people fail because they fail to discover what's right for them in the same line of work, in the same following the steps,
Exploiting
but
their
what-
maximum.
Exactly, but what works for me? Which is why I admire singers like Dimash. He has figured the recipe that works for him, based on in true classical skills, based on perfect textbook singing technique, but absolutely what is it, personalized to him.
Well, that
And Efra, that it sounds obvious. It sounds obvious, like that. Oh, that's just yeah, anyone can do. But no, it takes years
It's
of self-discovery.
the riddle
you know?
of you, and that's a riddle that, unfortunately, a lot of people go to their deathbed not having
Not
figured it
knowing,
out.
yeah.
Like I didn't really figure out the riddle of me, because it is a bloody riddle. You know what I mean? You got that, and that's why, and that's why there's so many variables. Like the argument of genetics and nurture, nature versus nurture, it's so complex because there's so many variables involved. Like, for example, in a singing or in an athletic plane. Like, for example, training specificity is huge. Train for you. Don't train how this guy trains. Train how you figure out the way that you will train that will make you get the best results for you.
And it's a
in
little
the long
trial
run.
and fail.
Oh, wow, hell
And
yeah.
You gotta fail a lot before you figure out what the hell it is that works for you.
And then it's also figure out your limits. Figure out when you're underperforming. Tests, tests and record them and find people that are more talented than you, that you feel they're naturally more talented than you, that you feel they're underneath you. It's there's so many variables involved that it's so hard to say, it's 50% genetics and it's 50% nurture, or it's 65% genetics and,
Yeah, no, it's hard. And
that's a more interesting question though. Like, to how much? That's what I want to know. How much? Give me a number. Does it account for? Is it 5%? Is it 15?
I don't get caught up in those things. I don't think those things are.
It's just because I love psychology.
whatsoever.
I just want to figure that out.
I don't believe those things are actually that relevant. In like, I don't.
Well, nobody.
I don't. You see, this is what I think. Let's take the Philippines for example, because they have marked me beyond ability, my own perception ability, right? So the genetics game there is A1.
The reason why Philippines is a good example is because it doesn't seem that training. It doesn't seem a lot of people have the resources to go to have to be formally
formal
trained.
training,
So the training they have is at their house, with karaoke machines or singing.
And
is such a
watching
part.
other people and replicating.
And then they sing, like Marcelito Pomoy is a great example of that. Morissette is a great example of that, where her father trained her, and her father had no formal training in singing.
That's right.
So that it's a good example.
So let's take the Philippines for example, all right? So we get the gene pool there is absolutely gifted. It's blessed with the singing abilities, right? So it's beyond
I'd love to
anything.
see why, like historically.
I think it's exposure. I personally believe that was made them great is the exposure, the constant practice that was ingrained in the culture because of the karaoke machines being.
Yeah, but that's only 80 years ago.
Yes,
There
but
are better stories. The jazz story.
jazz.
The jazz itself, as a genre,
Yes,
it was grew up in the people from New Orleans.
exactly. Yes.
Only practicing.
Yeah, but
performing because
what
they
happened
felt-
with
they felt
jazz?
it.
Yeah, but that doesn't resolve the question of genetics. So the presence of genetics, right? That's basically saying, what you're saying is the exposure that they were put in front of because
Yeah.
of singing exploited their genetics, and that's why they sing. My question is,
Yeah.
where the hell did those good genetics come from? Like
don't
those that capability for vocal cords flexibility, like Marcelito Pomoy has.
God. That is my answer. God. I don't know.
No,
I
but
don't know.
the good thing about
I don't-
genes,
but I see, this is why I don't think the percentage and the numbers actually matter, because you got people from other parts of the world who are not genetically gifted.
how do you know that?
Because it's not the common denominator to be a singer in
Yeah, but
certain countries, right?
Now we're getting confused because my genes, right,
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I'd love to speak to a scientist about this, but I'm obviously not
Holla.
an expert on this.
Comment
But
on the below.
The genes of there are common denominator, like they're common genes in a country, for example. That doesn't mean, you have to look at your local family tree to see what your genes are.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So let's say, what you're trying to say is you didn't have a singer in your family,
Yes.
and then you came out
Where,
singing.
like, where did that come from? That's what I'm saying. Like, where does it come from? Like,
Yeah,
There's no
I'd love
story.
to speak to a biologist or someone like that.
'Cause
What do you
I've
call
got-
people that study genes?
so biologist, a genetist.
Yeah, so someone, an expert on that, and that's also a musician. If you know anyone, please send us their info through.
I actually
text them.
know. I actually know people, not genetists or scientists.
I don't even know if that's the name.
Or people that do, genetics or anything like that. But I do, funny story, I had a friend of mine who was a musical director. Still have. He's not dead.
Friendly.
Who has a master's degree in mathematics and physics. And it's a musical director in the West End as well.
I'd love
it's
to have
like,
him
it's
on.
crazy.
I would love to have him
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And discuss that.
He's really clever. Like, beyond freaking
'Cause-
clever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what those off sort of things occur. Like, if no one sang in your house, how the hell did you develop the capability?
It's like, where is it? Is it exposure? Is it because you have been exposed and
Well, you weren't exposed to nothing.
No, but you never know, because say that in your family tree nobody sung, but music has always been relevant, regardless of. So was it exposure
Right.
and the right type of elements in his environment that created this type of singer? What is it?
I think
Don't know.
what's
It's a mixture of everything, I believe,
that's
It has to be.
That seems to be, so from the little psychology knowledge I have, that seems to be the common conclusion
It has to be.
amongst the
Is
scientific community. However, the
it's a
reason
mix. Pick a mix.
the reason why though is so interesting to figure out what percentage it accounts to is because we're moving in the direction of genetic
Development.
yeah, we wanna
Advancements.
pull the best of the best and create this
I think
fucking
it's-
more, this
Of
hybrid
course.
humans.
Of course, but I think it's also getting us caught up in the nitty gritty. It's like, it's not. Those are the things that
What if
usually.
you could get rid of genes that no longer were likely to result in disabilities? You would want to know what the hell percentage it accounts to.
Well, no, absolutely, but
You know? But I'm not
until-
saying
until
disabilities as in Parkinson's stuff. I'm saying speech impediments. I'm talking the nitty gritty bit.
yes,
Talking people who are colorblind. I'm talking people who may develop later on in their lives hearing problems. That's why it's so important I feel, to then know what the whole percentage.
decipher genetics.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure scientists in their
I would love to have someone on because I'm obviously a dumbass.
Me
but-
too. I'm so clueless, absolutely clueless.
Let us know what you think about that as well. I love to see where most people sort of stand in. Like, are you more
So
towards
nature,
or nurture,
nurture.
when it comes to singing? And he's a bloody great example of.
but both.
Both, it seems.
He's an example of both. I don't think he would be the greatest of all if he didn't have all the knowledge and studies that he has on his shoulders. I have
genes.
seen plenty of gifted singers from birth.
Yeah.
They just come out and just be singing like freaking gorgeous, naturally, right? But they just get geneticists. Those are the scientists.
Who's a geneticist? Who's a musician? I want to know.
That's a pretty cool thing. So I was saying that I know people that naturally gifted,
Yeah, but then they don't make it.
but they don't nurture it.
Yeah, of course. Doesn't matter.
And then you got fantastic singers with the shortest careers ever.
That makes sense. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't think he would be the greatest without everything that
Oh.
he has compiled in his whole career.
There,
his
you're
whole life.
1,000% correct. If you don't nurture a skill, regardless of what your natural ability is, you're effed. Regardless, you're fucked.
And I also think if you're out there and you think that you're not the most genetically gifted person or whatever skill you want to develop, do not get caught up in it.
Yeah.
Work hard and whatever makes your heart pump,
I
whatever your heart desires, make it work.
I worked with a
It's possible. Follow your dreams.
I worked with a biomechanics expert in tennis.
Oh, okay.
And
Those are big words.
he worked with the
Biomechanics.
likes of Nadal, Murray, and
It's like physiotherapist.
well, his expertise was biomechanics.
Ooh, so,
So-
like movement and,
Yeah, so
and
how
joints
exactly,
and stuff.
and how can you maximize and how can you make those movements more efficient, both to prevent injuries
Yeah.
and the efficacy of the movement,
Of course.
right? And one of the things I said, because I'd love to have this conversation with everyone to see what that, especially clever people, like, you know, or people that I consider like smart. So I'd love to have this conversation with them to sort of, you know, like what do you think?
What do you think?
And he said something very enlightening. He said something like, genes matter, right? It's sort of what I just said. Genes matter, but that you're always capable. You're more capable than you think.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's encouraging, though. That's
Because
very
he says,
encouraging.
you know, like for example, the example he used when he saw me was neuroplasticity. You know, that neuroplasticity it's just kind of like your brain's ability to create new to create more. I think it's more pathways, and neurons and neurotransmitters and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Again, not my expertise, but it's just your capability of learning. Like that doesn't reduce with age.
No.
You can increase neuroplasticity and things like that. So he says you're more capable than you think, and for example, your muscles they grow. Your mindset they change. So it's the same. He says.
You're forever developing, I think.
But he does agree there is what genetics does. It simply puts a roof.
That's really interesting. Let us know what you think about this discussion and whether you have more information
Let's
about it
finish.
all.
Let's finish off with this. I don't know what it says. It says Gaku or something.
Yes, another live performance. I think this is like a festival. This is in one of his concerts. I believe this is like a mixed, like, you know, the summer festival that they do here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it has festival vibes actually.
Yeah, which off the bar you get a ton of disadvantages here as a performer, because when you get a generalized stage like this, lighting is not for you, sound equipment is not for you, everything is pretty much generalized, so kind of set.
Hard to shine.
Yeah, kind of set to your qualities, but they're not made for you. And that thing right there can make or break a performance. And I know that this is gonna blow us away because there's nothing to break here.
Yeah, well, we're solid.
Basically.
Go
So
on.
let's go. Let's finish it off. Oh, sorry.
I got it, mate.
Thanks. This is exciting.
Still nothing. I think it should be fine now. Turn it up there. Oh,
I don't know what I did. What did I do?
You broke it. You fucking broke it. Gaku, I don't know what that means.
No,
yeah, it's
me
Gaku
neither.
Festival, I think that's what it means.
Let me connect to the Bluetooth.
You can take it
one
off,
more
mate.
time. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, I should probably say now that you're gonna be able to find our second podcast of the week, Feature Friday Plus, on all platforms. Well, I mean, I hope so.
Or podcasting platforms.
Yes, Spotify is guaranteed, so now you'll be able to hear Feature Friday Plus on.
Whilst you're driving or cleaning your room or doing something that you don't actually have to see us.
Yeah, of course, the video version will be always available here on YouTube. Nothing's gonna change. We're not Joe Rogan. We're not bought by $100 million to exclusively post on Spotify. Hopefully one day. And but
my
so
God,
the
that's
video
a bright
version is still available here, and nothing's gonna change. You're now just gonna get Feature Friday Plus or the podcasts on
On a hearing listening platform.
yeah. So that hopefully Spotify is guaranteed, but that should hopefully mean as well Apple Podcasts, so iTunes, Amazon Audible. And some other exciting other platforms which I don't want to disclose yet because I don't want to build hopes.
That's right. Yeah, that's cool.
But Spotify is guaranteed. So in the next, when you watch this, well, which is now, on Sunday or Monday, you should be able to search up all the sort of guests we're gonna have on the podcast and all the previous podcasts from Feature Friday Plus will be available on Spotify for you to listen to, and it's completely free. Like most people think Spotify is not free.
No,
It
it
is.
is. It's totally free and
It's very
accessible
free.
for everybody.
So if you're that's what I say. If you're driving or whatever, you can't see the video because if you don't have YouTube Premium, then you can't minimize and you can't like lock your phone if you're listening to the podcast.
That's right. So
But on Spotify you can do that. You do get like the odd ad, and we
Yeah.
have no control over that. So apologies.
but yeah, it's exciting time. So you're gonna be able to hang out with us without having
it.
to,
See us.
see us. Pretty freaking cool, if you ask me.
Go on then. So Gaku Festival.
Let's go.
Nice. I thought we were popcorn. These flowers.
Here, have my popcorn.
Like a big popcorn.
I love that they gift him flowers.
Royalty, dog.
Literally.
Oh, I like this one a lot.
That's a really peculiar setting. Yeah, it is. Gorgeous, gorgeous work. Oh my god! Fantastic! Wow, cool. That's really cool how they got that shot. That's nice.
I wonder where this was.
I love you. No, we love you, dude.
It's a lot of people. Look at that back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're back on. We're back on. Wow. Really nice.
Nice, very nice. That is very impressive. As if I've never said that about him before. That is crazy.
Resume. Look at the little kid swinging around.
It's the first time we've seen him have issues with his name.
Festivals.
What the fuck?
He's having troubles with his hearing himself though.
Yeah, the monitoring is rough. Festivals, man. That is packed as well, Jesus. I didn't see those people.
Wow, look at that. That's huge.
It's so far back, man. So maybe it's Kazakhstan, maybe there?
I
like that.
don't really
Yeah?
know. Was that
Did you
Kazakh?
find out what Gaku was?
Gaku is a TV channel specialized in all the production, musical productions in Kazakhstan.
Oh, in Kazakhstan. Oh, lovely. So it was Kazakh. That's big. I thought it was very small.
So did I. I thought it was only that section that you could see on the camera. but
Ginormous.
It's huge, the crowd.
And yeah, it's rough when you have
definitely.
festivals.
I'm
Because the
telling
monitoring
you.
aim for you.
Yeah, it's
Ain't.
so generalized. It's so generalized. Is it creates a sort of like barriers, like physical barriers, because you're not in control of any of it. So how impressive it is that he managed to get total stage domination and singing to like the best of his ability, even when the situations are so difficult. And people don't realize how incredibly difficult it is to sing without monitoring, like without hearing yourself correctly, like properly, or finding yourself comfortable in that type of
I
like
still
live
have the
settings.
other one on, but
It's just is
rough.
hard, it's difficult. And because what you are hearing from your natural ear without the monitoring, it's totally different to what people are getting out, and what they're receiving on the production house as well. So everything that's happening is totally distorted. So what the singer might think it's all right might not even be close to a
Yeah.
good performance. So it's really amazing. He is absolutely, mind-blowing. It leaves me speechless every single time. It's, I rave about his technique and about how incredibly gifted he is, but it just goes way beyond that. Like, is his performance artistry, is his emotional understanding, is his acting capabilities, those capability to access emotions the way so easily for him on stage. It is terribly difficult, and is surpassing difficulties, technical difficulties like this, that amplify my admiration for him and what he does. It's insane.
He's awesome, and it's also a good example. Like you saw examples there that at the end of the day, like, basics and foundations do pay the bills. Like, it was very difficult. He had to rely on basics and go back to the core of performing and not doing such crazy riffs, and even though he did, but maybe he could have done more. But because the monitoring is so difficult, he had to adapt. There were moments of silence there because he's trying to engage on my monitoring.
Hear, listen, familiarize. I think there was a lot of testing familiarity in that last performance, especially for him.
So at the end of the day, basics do pay the bills. So he's such an individual to study. As I'm a percussionist. I'm not a singer. I'm never gonna sing like that. I don't want to, and never will. But but he's still such a peculiar individual for me to sort of study and admire in my own time, and obviously with you guys, because he's not only has incredible foundation, one of the strongest, but he's also an outstanding world-class performer. And if you aspire to be in front of people,
you got to study those people.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best at it. But it's obviously a lot of emotions, and very, very one of the most difficult podcasts I find to digest, because
definitely
it's so much going on. But I still hope it was enjoyable and it sparked interesting enough conversations, and as always, we'd always love to hear what you guys thought while watching, or any backstories behind these sort of performances and stuff like that. And yeah, it's fucking very difficult to sort of put everything into one head.
I find myself a little overwhelmed, I have to be honest, and in a good sense of the word. But I find myself a bit like disconnected from reality.
It's
a little
great,
bit,
man.
too. It's fantastic. Thank you very much for all your amazing suggestions. They were concise and emotion packed, and it like I said, I don't feel like it has been a roller coaster, because in no moment of this podcast I feel like I hit a low. Like,
it's just highs and highs and highs.
It just kept getting better. It's like, whoa, what is happening? You become, it's like when you now I'm coming to the low. Now I'm starting to realize everything that has happened. But yeah, thank you very much for staying tuned and suggesting fantastic things. And yeah, please do keep in touch. And if you have any questions for Alan that's coming in this Sunday, leave them down on the comment section below as well, and tune in this Sunday for Feature Friday Plus.
All right.
We'll be talking about a lot of cool stuff.
Peace.
Bye bye.